I was lying on a gurney in the emergency room, barely conscious from the pain in my abdomen, when my phone buzzed with a credit card alert. $25,000 charged at a resort in Cancun. My husband had told me he was at a leadership conference in Denver. Then my sister texted me a screenshot. His Instagram story. Him on a white sand beach, mojito in hand, his arm around a woman I'd never seen before. She was wearing my grandmother's pearl necklace. The one he told me I must have lost at the dry cleaners. I looked at the ceiling, waited for the next wave of pain to pass, and started making calls. Let me back up. My name is Elena. I'm 36, and until that Tuesday in March, I was a 4th grade teacher at Riverside Elementary in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'd been married to Ryan for 8 years, together for 11. He worked in pharmaceutical sales, which meant travel. Lots of travel. At least that's what I believed. The pain had started during recess. A sharp, stabbing sensation in my lower right side that made me grab the chain link fence, while 23 9-year-olds played kickball. I thought it was cramps. By the time the final bell rang, I was sweating through my blouse and couldn't stand up straight. My colleague, Dana, drove me to Mercy General while I called Ryan. Straight to voicemail. I tried again. Voicemail. Third time, voicemail. I left a message. Hey, I'm heading to the ER. Something's wrong. Please call me back. He didn't call back. The ER doctor, a tall woman named Dr. Okafor, pressed on my abdomen and watched me nearly come off the table. She ordered a CT scan, came back 20 minutes later with a look I didn't love. Your appendix is inflamed and close to rupturing. We need to operate tonight. I nodded, trying Ryan again. This time the phone rang 6 times before going to voicemail. That was different. That meant he'd seen the call and declined it. It was 7:14 p.m. when the credit card alert came through. I was in a hospital gown, IV drip in my arm, waiting for the surgical team. My phone lit up. Visa ending in 4,471. Purchased $25,362.78. Grand Palapa Resort and Spa, Cancun, Mexico. I read it 3 times. Cancun. Not Denver. Not the Marriott Conference Center where he'd said he'd be sitting through PowerPoint presentations about quarterly targets. Cancun. Then my sister Mia's text arrived. A screenshot from Ryan's Instagram story, posted 9 minutes ago. My husband stood on a beach at golden hour, white linen shirt unbuttoned, holding a mojito, grinning like he'd won the lottery. Next to him, pressed against his side, was a woman with dark hair and red lipstick. She was laughing, one hand on his chest, and around her neck, catching the last of the sunlight, were my grandmother's pearls. The double strand with the antique sapphire clasp that my grandmother had worn on her wedding day in 1962. The necklace my mother had given me when Grandma passed, pressing it into my hands and saying, "These are yours now, Elena, keep them safe." The necklace I'd torn the house apart looking for 2 months ago while Ryan stood in the doorway, saying, "Babe, you probably left them at the school. You're always forgetting things there." He hadn't just taken them. He'd given them to her. My phone buzzed again. Mia. "Is that your necklace? I'm coming to the hospital. Don't do anything until I get there." But I was already doing things. See, here's what Ryan didn't know. 6 months earlier, I'd found a hotel receipt in his coat pocket. The Westin, in Atlanta. A Sunday night in October when he'd told me he was visiting his college roommate in Savannah. I didn't confront him. I know that sounds strange, but I'd grown up watching my mother confront my father about every lie, every woman, every missing dollar, and all it did was give him a chance to get better at lying. So instead of confronting, I prepared. I opened a separate checking account at a different bank. Every paycheck, I moved a portion into it before Ryan could notice. I scanned and saved every financial document in our house to a secure cloud folder. I photographed every piece of jewelry I owned with timestamps. I consulted a divorce attorney named Rachel Park, paid the retainer for my new account, and she walked me through exactly what I'd need when the time came. If the time came, I told myself then. I know better now. It was always when. Dr. Okafor came in. "We're ready for you. I need to take you back in about 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I looked at her. "Doctor, I need those 15 minutes. She studied my face, the phone in my hand, the expression I must have been wearing. "Take them," she said, "but not a second more. That appendix won't wait." The first call was to Ryan's mother. Margaret answered on the second ring. She's a retired accountant, sharp as a razor, and she'd co-signed our mortgage 3 years ago because Ryan's credit score was too low to qualify on his own. She'd also given us $40,000 as a down payment, with the understanding documented in writing because Margaret is Margaret that it was a loan to be repaid within 5 years. Margaret, it's Elena. I'm in the hospital. Oh God, what happened? Is it the baby? Are you pregnant? No, it's my appendix. Emergency surgery tonight. But Margaret, I need to tell you something about Ryan. He's supposed to be in Denver. He's not in Denver. He's in Cancun. There was a pause. How do you know? Check his Instagram. His username is Ryan the Road King. I heard her typing. Then, silence. A long silence. That's a $25,000 resort, she said, her voice flat. Who is the woman? I don't know, but she's wearing my grandmother's pearls, the ones he said I lost. When Margaret spoke again, her voice had that quality I'd only heard once before, when Ryan's father had tried to hide a gambling debt. I'm calling the mortgage company in the morning. His name is coming off that house. You paid the down payment, I wanted to say, but she was already ahead of me. And Elena, don't you worry about a thing. I married a man like Ryan once. I know exactly what to do with them. The second call was to Ryan's boss, Tom Hensley, Regional VP of Sales. He'd been at our wedding. He'd given a toast about Ryan being his best closer, his future director. I had Tom's personal cell because Ryan had made me program it in case of emergencies. This qualified. Tom, it's Elena, Ryan's wife. Elena, how are you? It's late. Everything okay? I'm in the hospital, actually. Emergency surgery. But I'm calling about Ryan. He told me he's at the Denver conference. That's right. I approved the travel myself. He should be at the opening dinner right now. Tom, he's in Cancun, Mexico, with a woman at a $25,000 resort. He posted it on Instagram an hour ago. Dead silence. The Denver conference is a real thing, Elena. We have 12 reps there right now. Ryan told me he was flying in Monday night. He submitted receipts for the flight. I can tell you the flight he didn't take was the one to Denver. Check his Instagram. Ryan the Road King. You'll see exactly where he is. I heard Tom breathing. Then his voice, quiet and controlled. Elena, this isn't the first time I've had concerns about Ryan's travel expenses. I've been flagging inconsistencies for months. If what you're saying is true, and I have no reason to doubt you, this is a termination-level offense. Expense fraud. Misuse of the corporate card. I held the phone tighter through another spike of pain. Tom, the $25,000 on our personal credit card. I think he might have used the corporate card too. If he did, I'll know by morning. And Elena, I'm sorry. You deserve better than this. Also, when you're recovered, call me. We have an opening in our education outreach division. It's yours if you want it. The third call was to Rachel Park, my attorney. Rachel, it's go time. He's in Cancun with another woman. I have photos, credit card records, and I'm about to go into surgery. Can you file a temporary restraining order on our joint accounts first thing tomorrow? Already drafting it, she said. I texted her the screenshots while talking to Tom. And Elena, the Instagram posts are gold. In North Carolina, marital misconduct still matters in divorce proceedings. This man just handed you everything on a silver platter. On a beach in Cancun, I corrected her. Even better, she said. Dr. Okafor appeared in the doorway. Time's up. I looked at my phone. One more. Please. She held up one finger. The fourth call was to my mother. Mom, I'm having emergency surgery tonight. My appendix. I'm fine. But I need you to go to my house tomorrow morning with Mia and get my things. All of them. Before Ryan gets back. I'll text you a list. What's happening? Elena, what's happening is I'm done, Mom. And I need you to find the fireproof safe in the bedroom closet. The code is Grandma's birthday. Take everything in it. Every document, every photo, everything. Mom didn't ask more questions. She'd been waiting for this call, I think, for years. She just said, I'll be there at 6 a.m. You focus on getting through tonight. I love you. I love you too. Then they wheeled me in. The anesthesiologist asked me to count back from 10. I got to 7, and the world went dark. I woke up at 2:47 a.m. In a recovery room, groggy, throat raw from the tube, abdomen wrapped tight. A nurse was checking my vitals, a woman around my age, warm eyes, braids pulled back. Her badge read Janelle. "Hey there," she said softly. "Surgery went perfectly. No rupture. You're going to be fine." "My phone," I croaked. She hesitated, then handed it to me. 83 missed calls from Ryan. 41 texts. I scrolled through them, and Janelle, bless her, read over my shoulder without even pretending not to. The text started casual. "Hey babe, saw you called. In a session. Call you later." Then, 6 hours later, confused. "Why aren't you answering? Everything okay?" Then annoyed. "Elena, seriously. Pick up." Then the credit card alerts must have started hitting. "Elena, what the hell is happening with the card? It's declining. I'm at dinner and the card won't go through. Call me now." Then panicked. "Why is the visa frozen? What did you do? Elena, I swear to God if you don't answer me." Then desperate. "Baby, please. I can explain everything. It's not what it looks like. Denver got moved to Cancun last minute. It was a work thing. Please call me." Janelle looked at me. She said nothing for a moment, then, "Denver got moved to Cancun. With a woman wearing your jewelry. He sounds like my ex. My ex told me his bachelor party in Miami was a team-building exercise." I laughed. It hurt. "Don't make me laugh, my stitches." She grinned. "Sorry. But also, you need to see something." She pulled out her own phone. I looked up his Instagram. "When you were in surgery, Patricia, on the night shift, showed me your chart notes. Word travels fast in this hospital. I should have been annoyed about the privacy breach. But honestly, I needed allies more than I needed HIPAA compliance right then." She showed me a video posted by someone tagged as Derek Fitlife. Ryan at a resort bar, surrounded by people, doing tequila shots. He grabbed the dark-haired woman, dipped her like a movie scene, and kissed her while the crowd cheered. The caption said, "My boy, Ryan finally living his best life. She doesn't deserve him anyway. She doesn't deserve him." Janelle watched my face. "You okay?" I watched the video again. Studied the woman's face, the pearls around her neck, catching the bar lights. "Actually," I said, "I'm great. Can you screenshot that video before he deletes it?" "Already did," she said. 14 screenshots. And I saved the video to my cloud because Derek's account is public and men are dumb. I spent the next 2 hours in that hospital bed, morphine drip in my arm, phone in my hand, methodically dismantling my marriage. I changed every password, email, bank accounts, streaming services, even the Ring doorbell, so I could watch the front door of the house. I removed Ryan as an authorized user on both credit cards. I transferred every dollar from our joint checking into my personal account. I downloaded the cloud folder with all our financial documents and forwarded it to Rachel. I filed an online report with Visa about the Cancun charges, citing them as unauthorized since technically Ryan had used a card where I was the primary holder without my knowledge or consent for a trip he'd lied about. Janelle brought me juice and crackers and watched me work. "You've done this before," she observed. "No," I said. "I just paid attention to my mother's mistakes." She nodded like she understood exactly what I meant. At 6:02 a.m., my mother texted. "At the house. Mia's here. Starting with the closets." At 6:34 a.m., she texted again. "Found 3 receipts for jewelry stores in his nightstand drawer. None of them are pieces I've ever seen you wear." At chasse, 51 a.m., Mia texted. "There's a second phone in his golf bag. Passcode is 0000, because of course it is. Elena, there are messages with 6 different women." 6. I closed my eyes. The pain in my abdomen was nothing. Not compared to this. But I didn't cry. Not yet. I had work to do. At 8:15 a.m., Margaret called. Done. I spoke with the mortgage company. I'm exercising my rights as co-signer to initiate a review. His name will be off that deed within 60 days. Also, Elena, I want you to know, I'm on your side. He's my son, but he's his father's son too, and I won't protect that. I never did with his father, and I won't start now. At 9 a.m., Tom called. Corporate card charges confirmed. $11,000 on the company Amex. Hotels, flights, restaurants, none of them in Denver. HR is processing termination today. He's done. At 10:30 a.m., Rachel emailed. Temporary restraining order on joint accounts filed. Divorce petition drafted. Ready to file on your word. File it, I replied. At 11:47 a.m., Ryan finally got through. Janelle held the phone to my ear while I lay in the hospital bed, still connected to an IV. Elena, thank God. Baby, listen to me. Where are you? Why aren't you home? I'm in the hospital, Ryan. I had emergency surgery last night. My appendix almost ruptured. What? Are you serious? I called you 4 times before they put me under. You were doing tequila shots with your girlfriend. Elena, she's not my girlfriend. She's Derek's cousin. We just... Stop. I know about the second phone, Ryan. I know about the 6 women. I know about the corporate card charges. And I know about my grandmother's pearls. Silence. The longest silence of our marriage. When he spoke again, his voice had changed. Who told you? That was his question. Not are you okay? Not I'm sorry. Not I'm catching the first flight home. Who told you? Everyone, I said. Your mother. Your boss. My attorney. And Ryan? Your job terminated you this morning. Corporate card fraud. Your mother is removing your name from the mortgage. My lawyer filed the divorce petition an hour ago. And everything you posted on Instagram is now evidence. He started screaming. I held the phone away from my ear. Janelle calmly pressed the end call button and switched my phone to do not disturb. You don't need that right now, she said. You need rest and bad hospital jello. She produced a cup of green jello from behind her back. I ate it. It was terrible. It was perfect. That afternoon, Mia brought me my laptop and a change of clothes. She also brought news. She'd gone through the second phone. 6 women, spanning 3 years, hotels in Atlanta, Miami, New Orleans, Chicago. All billed as work trips. All approved by a company that trusted him. And the dark-haired woman in Cancun? Her name was Vanessa. Mia had found her Instagram through tagged photos. Vanessa's bio read, living my fairy tale with a ring emoji. She thinks they're engaged, Mia said quietly. He bought her a ring. With what money? I asked, though I already knew. Mia showed me the credit card statement she'd pulled from our files. A $4,000 charge at a jeweler in South End, December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. The Christmas where Ryan had given me a bathrobe from Target and said money was tight because of a slow quarter at work. That's when I cried. Not for Ryan, not for the marriage, for the version of myself who'd believed him, who'd smiled and said I love it. It's so cozy when he'd handed me that bathrobe while another woman's engagement ring sat on a credit card I was making minimum payments on. Janelle sat with me. She didn't say anything. She just sat there, solid and present, until it passed. Then I wiped my face and opened my laptop. I posted once on Instagram. A photo Mia had taken of me in the hospital bed, IV in my arm, giving a thumbs up. I was pale, exhausted, and smiling. The caption read, had emergency surgery last night. Appendix almost burst. Called my husband 4 times before they wheeled me in. He didn't answer because he was in Cancun with another woman wearing my late grandmother's pearl necklace. He charged $25,000 to our credit card for the trip. He told his job he was at a conference in Denver. He told the other woman he was single. He told me I was crazy for thinking anything was wrong. I'm not crazy. I'm just done. To my sister Mia, who moved me out in 3 hours. To my mother who found the second phone. To the nurses at Mercy General, who held my hand when my husband wouldn't, and to my mother-in-law Margaret who chose truth over blood. Thank you. Alexandra Elena doesn't need a man who shows up. She is the woman who shows up. I tagged the hospital. I tagged Janelle, RN. I tagged Mia. I didn't tag Ryan. I didn't need to. Within an hour, the post had 400 likes. By evening, 2,000. People shared it. People I didn't know were commenting with their own stories, their own Ryans, their own Cancuns. And then Vanessa found it. Her comment appeared at 9:47 p.m. Wait. He told me he was divorced. He told me the pearls were his grandmother's. He said I was the only one. He gave me a ring. I replied, keep the ring. It was bought with my credit card on December 23rd while he gave me a bathrobe for Christmas. And check the pearls. There's a tiny engraving on the clasp. My grandmother's initials, A. M. R. 1962. If you find them, I'd like them back. They're the only thing I want from any of this. Vanessa deleted her comment, then deleted her account. 3 days later, a padded envelope arrived at my mother's house where I was staying. Inside were the pearls, cleaned and wrapped in tissue paper. No note, just the necklace. The sapphire clasp catching the light. Grandma's initials still there. I held them against my chest and breathed. Ryan made it back to Charlotte 4 days after the surgery. He'd had to borrow money from Derek for a flight after every card was frozen, and the resort had threatened to call the police over the unpaid balance. He went to our house, found it half empty, called me 63 times, left voicemails that cycled through every stage of grief except acceptance. I documented all of it. Every call, every text, every voicemail. Rachel said to let him talk. Let him dig, she said. Every message is evidence. He's building our case for us. The divorce was finalized in 4 months. North Carolina takes marital misconduct seriously, and between the Instagram posts, the second phone, the financial records, and Vanessa's willingness to provide a written statement once she realized Ryan had been lying to her too, it was decisive. I got the house. I got full control of the remaining finances. Ryan got his clothes, his golf clubs, and the second phone. Tom made good on his offer. 3 weeks after my surgery, I interviewed for the education outreach position at Ryan's former company. The irony wasn't lost on me. I sat in the same building where Ryan had worked, in a conference room he'd probably sat in hundreds of times, and I nailed it. The pay was 60% more than my teaching salary. Full benefits, flexible schedule, and the best part was something Tom said at the end of the interview. He leaned forward and said, "Honestly, Elena, half the schools in our district already know you because you've been fixing Ryan's mistakes with our education partnerships for years. The principals ask for you by name. They've never once asked for him." I accepted on the spot. 8 months later, I'm sitting in my home office, the one I converted from Ryan's man cave. The walls are a soft sage green now, instead of the dark gray he'd insisted on. My grandmother's pearls hang on a small display frame on my desk, right next to a photo of my mom, Mia, and me at Christmas. Our first Christmas with no bathrobe, no fake smiles, no slow quarter excuses. Margaret sends me a card every month, handwritten, on her monogrammed stationery. She's never once asked me to forgive Ryan. The last card said, "You were always too good for him. I'm only sorry it took so long for everyone to see it." Janelle and I have lunch every other Wednesday. She's become one of my closest friends. She says I'm her favorite patient ever, which I suspect she says to a lot of people. But I don't care. Some friendships are forged in operating rooms and bad jello. Those are the ones that last. And Ryan. Last I checked, he was living in Derek's spare bedroom, working as a server at a chain restaurant after no pharmaceutical company would touch him with the expense fraud on his record. He started a podcast called Rebuilding Ryan, about his journey through personal accountability. He's 5 episodes in. In none of them does he mention the pearls, the second phone, the 6 women, or the wife he left in the emergency room. He talks about how society is unfair to men going through transitions and how cancel culture destroyed his career. His podcast has 11 subscribers. I know because Mia checks weekly and reports back with glee. People ask me sometimes if I feel guilty, if dismantling his life from a hospital bed was too much, if I should have waited, talked to him, given him a chance to explain. I tell them the truth. I gave him 11 years of chances, 11 years of strange receipts and late nights and business trips that didn't add up, 11 years of my gut screaming, while my heart whispered just one more chance, he'll change. The hospital bed didn't make me cruel. It made me clear. When you're lying under fluorescent lights waiting for a surgeon to cut you open, and the person who swore to love you in sickness is doing tequila shots on a beach with your dead grandmother's pearls around another woman's neck, clarity isn't optional. It's a survival instinct. The only thing I regret is not opening that separate account sooner, not photographing those pearls earlier, not listening to the voice inside me that knew, that always knew, long before the credit card alert, and the Instagram story, and the second phone in the golf bag. But that night in the ER, that alert on my phone, that wasn't a betrayal. I mean, it was. Of course it was. But it was also a key. It unlocked the door I'd been standing in front of for years, Too afraid to open, too loyal to walk through. I walked through, and on the other side was this life. This quiet, peaceful, mine life. Janelle texted me last week. A screenshot from Ryan's Instagram. A selfie in Derek's bathroom mirror. Caption: Day 241 of my healing journey. Grateful for growth. The universe has a plan. I showed it to my mother over dinner. She laughed so hard she knocked over her wine glass. Good, she said, wiping Pinot Noir off the tablecloth. Let the universe deal with him. We're busy. She's right. We are busy. I'm busy being promoted. Busy having Wednesday lunches with a nurse who held my phone while my world collapsed and then handed me Jell-O like it was communion. Busy wearing my grandmother's pearls to work every single day, not because I need to prove anything, but because they're mine. They were always mine. And that $25,000 charge at the Grand Palapa Resort, I framed the credit card statement. It hangs in my office next to my grandmother's photo. Not as a monument to pain, as a receipt, the exact price of my freedom. And honestly, it was a bargain.